Los Angeles erupted into the center of a national outcry today, as thousands took to the streets demanding justice, accountability, and an end to deadly enforcement operations. What began as a peaceful march soon escalated, forcing police to issue a tactical alert in the heart of the city. Today, thousands of protesters marched through Los Angeles as part of a nationwide call to action, triggered by 2 fatal shootings in Minneapolis and a growing backlash against increased immigration enforcement operations across the United States. The demonstrations were part of a coordinated national movement often referred to as a national shutdown, where activists urge people to walk out of work, school, and daily life to send a clear message to authorities. How it started in Los Angeles. The protests in Los Angeles began Friday morning outside City Hall. At first, the atmosphere was peaceful but intense. Protesters carried signs, chanted slogans, and demanded justice for Renee Good, justice for Alex Pretti. An immediate review of federal immigration enforcement tactics. As the crowd grew, demonstrators began marching through downtown streets, eventually moving toward Boyle Heights, a neighborhood with deep immigrant roots and a long history of activism. Why people are protesting. At the center of the outrage are 2 fatal shootings in Minneapolis. Renee Good, whose death occurred during a federal enforcement-related incident, Alex Pretti, an ICU nurse, who was also fatally shot during a law enforcement operation. Protesters argued these deaths reflect a broader pattern of excessive force, lack of accountability, and aggressive immigration operations carried out by federal agencies. Activists say these cases are not isolated, but symptoms of a system that allows armed enforcement actions with little transparency or public oversight. Tensions escalate. As the Los Angeles march continued, into the afternoon and evening, tensions began to rise. Crowds swelled into the thousands, and some demonstrators moved closer to federal buildings and major intersections. At that point, the Los Angeles Police Department issued a tactical alert, a move that allows the department to keep officers on extended duty, increase police presence citywide, prepare for crowd control and emergency response. While most protesters remained peaceful, isolated confrontations occurred between some individuals and law enforcement. Police reported instances of non-compliance with dispersal orders, leading to detentions and arrests. Police response, LAPD emphasized that the tactical alert was issued as a precaution, citing public safety concerns as crowds moved through densely populated neighborhoods. Officers were deployed to prevent property damage, protect government buildings, and keep major roadways open. Authorities stated they were attempting to balance First Amendment rights with the need to maintain public order. Not just Los Angeles. What happened in LA was part of something much bigger. Similar protests unfolded in Minneapolis, New York City, San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia, and several other major U.S. cities. In many places, protesters staged walkouts, blocked traffic, and shut down business districts, calling for an end to what they describe as violent and unchecked enforcement operations. What protesters are saying. Demonstrators say their message is simple: accountability for deaths involving law enforcement, independent investigations into federal agencies, an end to aggressive immigration raids, respect for immigrant communities and civil rights. Many fear that expanded enforcement operations are creating a climate of fear, not just for undocumented immigrants, but for entire neighborhoods. Government response. In response to the national pressure, federal officials have acknowledged the protests. Civil rights reviews are reportedly underway in connection with the Minneapolis shootings. Lawmakers are facing renewed calls to limit or reform enforcement operations. However, activists say words are not enough, and real change must follow. What this means, this is no longer just about 2 tragic deaths. It has become a national debate about policing immigration policy, use of force, government accountability. Los Angeles, once again, has become a focal point in that conversation. Powerful ending line. What unfolded on the streets of Los Angeles today was more than a protest. It was a warning. A warning that public anger is growing, trust is eroding, and the demand for justice is not going away. The question now is whether those in power are willing to listen before peaceful voices turn into something louder.